Welcome to Everything Pro Wrestling. Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans, for the fans. And I am your host, Conrad Cushman, and this is Everything Pro Wrestling Talks. We will be talking all in, wrestling video games, and the build up to SummerSlam. I hope you guys enjoyed the new intro. The song was done by a group from Western New York named James Drive. The song is titled Residency. Make sure you give those guys a follow on Instagram at JamesDrive_90salt. Once again, that's JamesDrive_90SALT. Guys, let's talk some pro wrestling. The first thing I want to talk about is the venture of Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks while they are promoting All In. For those of you who are not familiar with the All In event, let me give some background. All In is currently being promoted by Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks. It's set to take place September 1st, 2018 from the Sears Center Arena in Chicago, Illinois. Now, for some background on it, Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks decided that they were going to do an independent show, and the goal of the show was to sell out a 10,000-seat arena, which some people like Dave Meltzer and others in pro wrestling didn't think could happen. Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks sold that event out in about 30 minutes. I'm not sure on the exact time. It doesn't matter. The event is sold out, and I'm very happy for this. This is a good thing for pro wrestling. But I want to talk about the All-In match card today, guys. So we have Nick Aldis, who is the current NWA World Heavyweight Champion. And if you don't know, Nick Aldis was formerly known as Magnus in TNA. He is the current NWA World Heavyweight Champion, and he will defend that championship against Cody Rhodes. It was officially announced this week, and I cannot wait for this match, guys. It has been being built up for quite some time in Ring of Honor, at different events. Even in New Japan, it's been mentioned. This is tremendous for the wrestling business. When you look at the history and the lineage of the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, you have the title being held by guys like Harley Race, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, and the names can go on and on and on. But we're going to have a really big match with Nick Aldis versus Cody Rhodes, and they exchange some subtle back and forths about it, but this match is tremendous. And some people are like, where did the NWA come from? Well, the National Wrestling Alliance is now owned by Billy Corgan, and he's having some assistance from Dave Lagana, former SmackDown writer. And they are doing a tremendous job on social media promoting their brand. So if you want to follow the NWA, make sure you're following them on Facebook, Twitter, any social media forms that they're on. That's where you're going to want to see all of their videos. They're doing tremendous stuff. This is going to probably be the main event, in my opinion, for that show. It is a can't-miss match, and I think these guys are definitely going to deliver. We also have on the card a six-man tag team match, which will have Rey Mysterio, Phoenix from Lucha Underground, and Bandino versus the Golden Elite, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, and Kota Ibushi in a six-man tag team match. I cannot believe that this match is actually going to happen. Now, Rey Mysterio and Phoenix in the ring with the Young Bucks, and even Kota Ibushi, this has the potential to be wild, guys. Rey Mysterio and Phoenix selling for the Young Bucks and vice versa. I think this could be really, really good, and I think it's a match up everyone's alley in it. The only one I'm not too familiar with is Bandito, but if he's teaming with Rey Mysterio and Phoenix, the guy's got to be good. We also have a match with Joey Janela, who will be with Penelope Ford, and this is a non-title match. I know he's currently a champion, and they will be facing off against Bullet Club's Hangman Page. Decent match. I'm not too familiar with Joey Janela as well, but I would like to see his work, and I think that they could also put on a decent match. And for the last match to talk about out of the four, we are going to have Okada versus Marty Scurll in a singles match. And I think that this match can also deliver big time. These guys have quite the history of the Bullet Club, facing off in New Japan. And Okada wrestling in the States is a big deal, guys. He doesn't come over here too often. So it'll be good to see Okada showing up here in the U.S. to put on one heck of a show.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Prophecy from the Suplex Session Podcast, where I give my analysis on your weekly pro wrestling programming. Baby! Right now, you are listening to Everything Pro Wrestling with my good friend Conrad. Stay tuned.
I have to give a huge shout out to Prophecy of the Suplex Session Podcast for that tremendous intro into our next segment. Make sure you check out the Suplex Session Podcast and give him a listen. In this next segment, guys, we are going to talk about WWE 2K19. And last week we talked about the Woo edition of the game for Ric Flair, which is the collectible edition. Get a piece of the robe, the Hall of Fame ring, and a few other extra things, the Funko Pop, the Season Pass, the game itself, etc., etc. You guys can check that out online. This week, though, we got a new mode announced for WWE 2K19, and it's called the Towers mode. Now, the Towers mode is very similar to Mortal Kombat, if you guys have ever played that. Basically, you start out at the bottom, and there's different ways to go about it advancing in this mode. So there's the steps, which is you can play through, and each new challenge will happen one at a time, and you can complete it on your own schedule. Cool, right? And you also have the gauntlet mode for the tower type, and that's going to be where players have to complete in a gauntlet challenge, and they have to complete it in a single session. So you're going to keep going through and playing, and you can play with your favorite WWE superstars, your custom My players, and et cetera, et cetera. I know a lot of people are happy to get this WWE 2K19 info on the podcast, but a lot of people are still asking that one important question. How do I get to play AJ Styles for the $1 million? To play AJ Styles for that $1 million, you first need to make sure you read over all the rules to make sure you qualify, and you can do that by visiting www.2k.com/$1 million challenge/rules for more details. Now, AJ Styles' $1 million tower. The phenomenal one is featured in his own high-profile tower called the AJ Styles $1 million tower. This tower is not for the weak of heart and will take extra determination and willpower to conquer it in full. Not only are the opponents in this tower a collection of some of WWE's finest, but they are also set to higher difficulties. Finally, a player's health does not regenerate in between matches. Those who preserve and manage to make it through this gauntlet will be rewarded handsomely. Speaking of rewards, AJ Styles' $1 million tower takes things a step further with the WWE 2K19 $1 million challenge. Fans in participating countries will have the opportunity to win $1 million by defeating AJ Styles in WWE 2K19 in a one-on-one match. Participation in the WWE 2K19 $1 million challenge is simple, and it's a three-step process. Step 1. Beat the AJ Styles $1 million tower in WWE 2K19 while playing the game on either PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. Step 2, record yourself cutting a promo video on why you have what it takes to beat AJ Styles in WWE 2K19. The video must include a visual proof that you completed the AJ Styles $1 million tower screen to confirm that you've earned the in-game achievement. Step 3, visit 2K.com $1 million challenge to submit your promo video. 4 finalists will be selected and flown to WrestleMania 35 weekend, where they will compete against each other in a one-on-one 2K19 mini tournament. The winner of the tournament will then face AJ Styles one-on-one in a grand finale for a shot at $1 million. Now, all of that came from the 2K website, guys. So does that get you excited for the game, or is it leaving you wanting more? Now, the reason that I said, is it leaving you wanting more, is because I looked through a lot of things in this game mode, and it left you with some hints and clues about other things, but people saw stuff that they liked and some stuff that they didn't like. So if you go through and you're checking out the screenshots, when you look at it, you're going to see that a lot of the old models have returned. You can see that we have The Rock from 2001, Kurt Angle from 2006, Eddie Guerrero and Ultimate Warrior, if you're familiar with the games. All of these exact same models were in last year. Same with Macho Man. We see an old Chris Jericho, Andre the Giant. A lot of the stuff looks the same. Even Trish Stratus's model, not too much difference in any of these. And a lot of people were disappointed. The only model that I saw a big difference in was AJ Styles. Even Daniel Bryan still had his old long hair. And that leads me to the next point that I want to talk about in all of this. And first, we're going to review Fire Pro Wrestling. But then after that, we're going to put WWE 2K19 against Fire Pro. And we're going to have a little discussion about it. So make sure that you guys stay tuned in for that.
A new Fire Pro Wrestling game, huh? I got this.
Kenny Omega starting out strong. An elbow to the face. Omega won't take this sitting down. And a low blow. He'll be feeling that tomorrow. This can't be good. It looks like a devastating pile driver.
Not like this.
Is this lights out for Omega?
Kenny!
But wait. Kota Ibushi's at the ropes. Begging Kenny to tag him in. Turn your living room into a ring with Fire Pro Wrestling World. Fight alongside and against your favorite New Japan Pro Wrestling talent in the all-new scenario mode. Edit custom wrestlers, title belts, and more to book your dream match. Then, share your creations online and battle with players from around the globe.
Golden Trigger!
Who do you have in your corner?
Tag a friend, and we'll see you in the ring.
Fire Pro Wrestling World, available August 28th.
Well, there you have it, guys. We have Fire Pro World coming out on PlayStation 4, and it's going to include wrestlers from New Japan Pro Wrestling. This is amazing. It's been quite some time since we've had featured wrestlers in the game, but you could always create them. Let's run through everything that you need to know about purchasing Fire Pro World for the PlayStation 4. The release date in Japan will be August 9th, and also in the States, it's going to be on August 28th. There will be two versions of the game. You will have your standard version, which is just the basic version with nothing else included, and the deluxe version, which will include the DLC. Now, we will have New Japan wrestlers in the game. We know about people like Kenny Omega, Naito, Okada, Tanahashi, and even more. The game will feature unique matches, including MMA-style matches, barbed wire matches, landmine matches, battle royals, everything you expect to be in a wrestling game. Now, for the first time ever, the Fire Pro series is introducing Play Online. There'll be 4 players max, but now you can play with your friends if you have it on PlayStation. We get into the creations. It has one of the most robust community creations that I've ever seen. There's lots of edits that people make to the rings and anything else. If you've ever seen it on PC, it's crazy. Just go on YouTube and type in Fire Pro World, and you'll see all of the different creations that people have created already. Now, we also have a fighting road mode, which it starts you off as someone who is at the very bottom of New Japan Pro Wrestling, basically a young boy, and you are going to fight your way up to try to become the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. So, sounds very interesting. And last but not least, guys, there will be DLC. We are going to hear about Fire Promoter, which basically will allow you to be like a GM in a sense, and you're competing against other federations, we'll say, for lack of a better term, and you are fighting to be number one for supremacy. Also with the DLC, you're going to get superstars. Those superstars will include Jushin Thunder Liger, Tiger Mask 4th Generation, Jado, Will Ospreay, Sho and Yo from Roppongi 3K, Rocky Romero, Beretta, which is Trent Beretta, and Takahashi, Dragon Lee, and even more. And there's also something else that's to be announced for the DLC, which is awesome. It keeps you guessing and wanting more for this game. And the Fire Pro World Series is something that I highly recommend. If you're tired of WWE 2K18 or 2K19 or 2K period, this is a game that you should want to try out. I know it's 2D and a lot of people are thinking a lot of the graphics, but a lot of the stuff in the game is robust, and I think it will be something that a lot of people can easily enjoy and have a good time with. Guys, I really don't have a lot to say about SummerSlam overall as a show. I went through that last week and what I thought about certain things. Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, looking tremendous. Charlotte Flair being added to the SmackDown Live women's match, not a fan. I thought that should have been Becky's match one-on-one, and it seems like they're kind of having Charlotte steal her moment, but maybe that's playing into the story. I can let that go. Cool. We have Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins once again for the Intercontinental Championship. Okay, fine. Everything seems to be okay. It's lacking the excitement right now at this point, and whatever. But there's one thing that I have to talk about real quick, and it's something that I even tweeted about. On social media, my tweet got 14,950 impressions, 4,326 views, and 221 engagements. There were lots of likes. I had 55 likes on this immediately following Monday Night Raw. And it was basically the ending to Raw. I don't know why Brock Lesnar's reading magazines, acting like he's not interested in the product, whatever. Now, did they get what they wanted from Roman? Perhaps in Miami, there were a few fans chanting, Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns. And it was mostly moms and kids. But behind that, you still heard Roman sucks chants. But in the end, Brock Lesnar came out, even though he said he wasn't, and Roman Reigns got taken away by the cops. Here's your problem, WWE, as far as why Roman Reigns can't get over. And my tweet goes like this, and I quote, so let me get this straight. Brock Lesnar came out from the back, and neither Roman Reigns or Braun Strowman wanted to rebel against authority and help beat down the evil Universal Champion. Why not make someone look credible? Hashtag Raw, hashtag who booked this. And then we have Nick Young with the crazy look on his face with all the question marks around his head. Why on earth would Roman Reigns not come back? Think of all the greats who ever were taken away by the police. Even John Cena would have came back. Roman Reigns just stayed away. He actually listened to the police and didn't come back. Braun Strowman, he didn't want anything to do with Brock Lesnar, I guess, huh? None of it makes sense. I just don't understand it. So they made Brock Lesnar look like a beast, which I guess if that was your goal, it worked to an extent, but I didn't feel any different about it. I walked away thinking Roman Reigns and all the baby faces in the back look like chumps compared to it. And for SummerSlam to be successful, WWE is going to have to step it up. I expect better than this, and I want to feel excitement for this show. So WWE, you got your work cut out for you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you guys so much for listening to episode 15 of Everything Pro Wrestling. And these new little segments will be called Everything Pro Wrestling Talks or EPW Talks. So if you guys like the episode, make sure you're subscribed. We are now on Stitcher as well. So the platforms keep growing, guys. So your support has been tremendous. I appreciate everyone on Twitter who listens to this and everybody in the Facebook groups and everyone who just supports me and my brand. I promise that I will never forget about you guys, and I will always do my best to take care of the wrestling community that supports me. So do me a favor, guys. Make sure you check out some wrestling this week and leave me some of your thoughts and feedback and give me a follow on Twitter at EPW Show. Guys, let's go out with the same music that we left with. And once again, shout out to the James Drive crew. Thank you very much for the music. Peace.